Welcome back to my channel, guys. So this video is going to be a different type of review than what I normally do on this channel. See, I was going to film my review for Midway, and then I thought back that that movie's been out for a while and not a lot of people are talking about it anymore, and I wanted to do a video on it. And then I thought back to a number of videos that I planned on doing but didn't for one reason or another, and I thought, why not combine some of the movies that I wanted to do videos for but never did and kind of make one little catch-up video on them. And that's what this video is going to be about. There's 5 movies that I wanted to do videos for but never got a chance to doing it. So I'm going to give short little thoughts on these movies because like I said, I wanted to make videos on them, and I feel like I should get my opinions out on these because I'm trying to do as many reviews as I can this year, and I've seen a lot of YouTuber reviewer channels do this, so it's nothing new, and I'm hoping to make this a yearly thing. You know, every year there's a handful of movies that I never get a chance to review, so I thought at the end of the year, put them together in one video, give quick little thoughts on it, that way they're not left out. So, with all that being said, let's get started. The first movie on my list is High Life, starring Robert Pattinson. Now, I actually bought the movie on Blu-ray back when it came out. I'm not sure if it had a theatrical release, but nevertheless, I did end up seeing the movie, and it actually took me a while to actually sit down and watch the movie. And when I did, I looked up how the reviews were, and I noticed that critics and film lovers praise this movie, yet modern film goers that aren't really movie lovers, like me and a bunch of other people on here, didn't like it. In fact, hated it. And now that I've seen the movie, I kind of understand both ends of the spectrum. Right off the bat, this movie is beautifully filmed and wonderfully acted. That's my 2 biggest praise that I can't praise this movie enough for, and it's one of the few things that actually kept me invested throughout the whole movie. However, the plot of the movie at times could get a bit convoluted, and some of the sexual themes that are present throughout the movie did throw me off a bit, and I think that's where most film goers nowadays were thrown for a loop, I guess I could say, because they didn't quite know what to think of it. Some of it I was saying to myself, okay, I can understand why that was there, but then there's other parts that I just thought to myself, was that really necessary? I felt like I could have been done without it. Some of it I can see was made to build some sort of tension, I guess, or relieve tension, or, you know, something like that, but there were parts in the movie where I felt like it wasn't really quite necessary. Maybe it was the director, Claire Denis, however you pronounce her last name. Maybe that was her intentions. If so, okay, I can understand that. But if it wasn't, then I'm a little lost on some of that subject matter. I'm very split on it myself, and I would say High Life is a Redbox movie. It's out on Blu-ray now. Like I said, if you're a big film goer like myself, check it out. But if you're a casual one, you can probably skip it. The next movie on my list is a Chinese film called Shadow, directed by a very talented director and starring very talented actors. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names because I will butcher them instantly. Now, I saw this film on Blu-ray, and I picked up the Blu-ray when it came out, and I found out that this movie got a theatrical release in some countries last year, but for the United States, this Blu-ray release that came out this year is its release in the US. And it was one of those Blu-rays that I saw on the shelf, and I'm not sure what drew me to it, but I saw it and said, this looks interesting. I should check it out. And I'm glad I did. I loved this movie so much. The biggest praise I can give this movie is that it is beautiful. This movie, the scenery in the movie is filmed in black and white, and the only color in the movie is skin tone and blood. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, that sounds kind of weird. And I thought so too, but trust me, it's gorgeous to look at, and it pays off. It pays off because the rest of the movie, the other technical aspects of the movie are very good. The writing, the acting, the choreography. This is a very action-packed movie. It's all handled so well, and it's so enthralling to watch. Now, I'm not a big fan of foreign films, mainly because I haven't really checked out all that much, but after seeing this movie, I really want to check out more, because I didn't know how I was going to feel with a foreign film, because they're not normally my cup of tea. This opened my eyes to foreign film, and I definitely want to check out more. I loved Shadow. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. The only thing I'm going to say is please check it out. It is definitely worth your time. And of course, Shadow is Oscar worthy. It's out on Blu-ray now. You can go to Walmart and pick it up for like 12 bucks. I think that's how much I paid for it. Please go watch it. The next movie on my list is Zombieland Double Tap. Now, I have a weird history with Zombieland, and I'm going to try to shorten it up as best as I can because I don't want this video to be too long. I have a long history with Zombieland. Back when it came out, I just started high school, and everyone was talking about it, and I just kept saying, I'll see it eventually, and then I never ended up watching it. It got to the point where it was talked about so much, I just didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't plan on watching it. I ended up buying the Blu-ray this year. This year was the first time I watched the movie, and I absolutely loved it. So it got me excited for the sequel. And this is a very, very entertaining zombie movie. I like this movie quite a bit. I don't think it's better than the first one, however, and I think that has to do with the fact that there's not really a whole lot you can do with a zombie survival movie, especially with a comedy. Everything that's been done with that type of genre has been done before. But the movie is very funny, and I really like the 4 leads in this movie. The blonde girl in the movie, I'm not going to look up her name, and I'm not going to look up her character's name because I hated her in the movie. She was very annoying. Some people said she was very funny. I thought she was annoying, and they do something with her early on in the movie, and I said, good. And then she comes back, and then I thought, damn it. And she was one of the biggest issues for me because she made this movie go from like an A- down to like a B. Not a B+, a B. I don't know what they were thinking with her character. She was meant to be comic relief, but the problem is the 4 leads themselves are funny in their own ways, bouncing off each other. You don't need a comic relief character like that. Thankfully, she's not in the movie too much, and she's not a big focus of the movie. I was able to enjoy Zombieland Double Tap, and I really recommend the movie for zombie fans, Zombieland fans. Most of them have seen it already, but if you haven't checked out Zombieland or Zombieland Double Tap, I do recommend them. It's a gory, funny time at the movies. Zombieland Double Tap is a Blu-ray purchase, and I think it's still in theaters right now. If it is still in theaters, then I do recommend seeing it in theaters. Next up is Dark Phoenix. Now, I actually did see this movie as I originally planned on seeing. I was going to see the movie at a certain time when it came out, and then I was going to review the movie a certain time after I saw the movie. And everything actually worked out. The problem is, when I saw the movie, I was very, very sick. The day I went to see it and the day I planned to see it, I came down with a very bad cold. And when I got done with the movie, I just went home and just slept. And then the next day I felt worse, so I didn't plan on doing a video of it. Some time went on. By the time I felt better, everyone was done talking about this movie, and I didn't feel like making a video on it. However, I'm doing it now, and enough time has passed to where I can say, I don't think this movie deserves all the hate it gets. Now, calm down, I'm not defending this movie because I don't really think this movie's that good. I do agree with a lot of the criticism this movie gets, but I did enjoy some stuff of the movie, and I did enjoy it enough to buy the Blu-ray and watch it when I have an X-Men marathon, also to complete the X-Men movies. What makes me want to watch this movie again is all the characters in this X-Men universe, the younger characters. I love these characters, and I love the actors that are playing them. I'm so sad they're getting recasted when Disney reboots them, but they are the best part of the movie, and definitely the part that gets me to watch the movie again. However, I think my biggest problem with it is 2 things, actually. Number 1, it just feels like another comic book movie, and that's kind of disappointing when this movie was coming after Avengers Endgame, the biggest comic book movie of all time. And so it was disappointing to see that they weren't really doing anything big or spectacular. And I noticed at very end of, or not very end, but very close to the release of the movie, they started marketing that this is the end of an era for X-Men, you know, kind of like what Avengers and Star Wars is doing. And I thought to myself, that's weird that they're promoting that stuff very late into production. And it sucks to see that stuff now because the movie doesn't feel like a satisfying ending. It just feels like the next X-Men movie. Also, there's a lot of action stuff that's very forgettable. The only action part that I loved and that I remembered is the train sequence, but then I found out that that's a reshoot. So, you know, that's disappointing to hear. X-Men Dark Phoenix is a very disappointing movie, but I enjoyed it enough to watch it if it's on TV or when I have an X-Men marathon. I'm not gonna watch this movie all the time, and I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets. It definitely deserves a lot of the hate it gets, but not quite all of it. I was really looking forward to this movie, but I can't help but say this movie is a major letdown. I would only recommend it if you're a hardcore X-Men fan. And finally, Midway. Now, I promised this review, and I'm sorry I can't give a proper review for this movie. I just have too much stuff going on. But I'm going to try to get out all my thoughts on this movie in this video as I can. So, Midway. I was really looking forward to this movie. I went and saw it with my dad because my dad's a really big history buff. He loves learning about history. So this was like the perfect movie for him to see. Now, I think it was my Dunkirk review where I said I wasn't too crazy for war films. But in the coming of years since then, I've opened up more to war films. I've appreciated more. I've seen more, and I appreciate the art form of capturing as best as you can a war movie with actors as best as you can make it. And now this is a Roland Emmerich film, and Roland Emmerich, he's got quite the reputation because he's known for big CGI epics, you know, Independence Day. I still haven't seen the second one, but I love Independence Day. And that's really what you get with this movie. You get a lot of plane battles, a lot of CGI explosions and gunfire, and it's entertaining as hell to watch. However, I think my biggest problem with the movie is the film does feel much, much longer than it should be. And it really isn't. By length, the movie is 2 hours and I think 15 minutes. The movie felt like it was like 3 hours long. It definitely dragged at some parts, but I can kind of forgive it because I actually really liked the characters in this movie. Most of them are based on real people that fought at Midway, and I thought they did a good job representing the actual battle of Midway and leading up to that battle. And overall, I really enjoyed Midway. I think it is worth seeing in theaters. And I would definitely watch this movie again. It's very entertaining. The length could be long at times, but I also think that has something to do with the fact that I had a headache when I saw the movie, so seeing all this flashy the flashy air battles and, you know, explosions, it definitely bothered my eyes and my headache a little bit. That could have had something to do with it, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed Midway, and I'd say it's a definite Blu-ray purchase, and it is worth seeing in theaters, because it is still in theaters right now. Well, guys, that's my 2019 movie catch-up. Those are the 5 movies that I did see in theaters that I wanted to do videos of, but I never did. Hopefully I can keep this going every year, because like I said, I always miss doing reviews for certain movies I wanted to see. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought of these movies, and would you like to see this every year? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, click right here. And I will see you guys next time.